right, what's up, everybody? Excited to be on the road for March Madness. I'm Barstool Sports, joined old friend of a decade. Man has ridden with me through thick and thin. We've been together for both through thick and thin, to be honest. Tyler Moody, great to get to hang out with you, Moody. You know, we're back in the old stomping grounds here. We're in Bossier City, Louisiana. Bossier City, Shreveport, place special near and dear to both our hearts. We started our careers together back in, 2016, doing sports radio here for 4 years. And we're back because we're here for DraftKings. The DraftKings Sports and Social just opening at the brand new live casino. And this place is freaking spectacular.
Spectacular.
We're here the next few days for March Madness, the NCAA tournament kicking off at 11:15 with Louisville and Creighton. And, man, I got to be honest, it's just freaking great to be here. We've got so many old friends of ours coming by. And I got to say, man, this is my first time at live. It opened a month ago. Dude, this place is spectacular. I hadn't seen this level of a casino in this area before. I just am blown away.
No, it's absolutely incredible. It feels like we're in Las Vegas right now. I was trying to get some video. We had a bunch of other stuff going on beforehand, so I didn't get a chance to get some video and upload it. But it looks like we're in Las Vegas right now. Like, I literally feel like I'm sitting in one of the bigger sports books in the world. Like, it's incredible stuff right here for Shreveport.
No doubt about it. And, and love that DraftKings opened the sports and social. We're proud DraftKings partners. And, man, let's get freaking hot. This is the NCAA tournament. Most fun couple days of the year, the Thursday and Friday. 16 games each day. And it starts today at 11:15 with Louisville and Creighton. The early slate, Louisville and Creighton, and then followed by Purdue and High Point. And then the third game, Wisconsin, Montana, and Auburn, Alabama State. College basketball, one of the hardest things to pick of all time.
One of the hardest things in the world, because this is mayhem. It's madness, right? This is what we're all for. There are upsets that are going to happen today. The question is, can you be the person to pick those upsets, Mintzy?
Historically, probably not, but we're damn sure going to try now, aren't we?
That's right, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I am one of those people that get insanely lucky this time of year. I don't know what it is. I don't watch any college basketball. I go to KenPom. I judge everything off KenPom, and I get hot. I don't know what it is. I've won a couple different brackets. I won our big bracket we did the first year of Wake Up Mintzy.
I remember that.
Mix it up with Mintzy. So, I don't know. I get hot, and I literally know nothing. So.
Hey, man, let's get hot. So, what, you got any KenPom picks for today?
KenPom picks for today. I'm rolling with Alabama. They're my team to win the national tournament. So I'm going to be rolling with them real hard. And then something that I think I'm going to be on here early is Montana at 8-1 to pull the upset. Just a little bit of fun. It's obviously when you're an 8-1 underdog, it is a long shot, but I'm looking for some value early on. So I'm going to take Montana to pull an upset.
Yeah, look, well, that's an interesting one. Montana, okay, they're a 16.5-point underdog. Wisconsin played 4 games in 4 days in the Big Ten tournament Thursday through Sunday. Sunday, their legs look gassed. They got a really good shooting team led by Jordan Tonje, the guard, but they were scoring like 80, 85 points a game, and then they barely couldn't even score 60 Sunday. They got a quick turnaround on a Thursday morning early game at 5,280 feet altitude in Denver in the thin air. Montana's kind of used to that too.
Yeah.
So this is a spot where you never know what's going to happen, but it's a little bit of a tricky spot for Wisconsin. So I'm going to ride the Montana long shot money line with you too. First game, Louisville and Creighton, one of the hardest games to pick. This Louisville-Creighton game, this should be a second-round 4 or 5 game. I can't believe this is an 8-9 game. Louisville, I guess, was the second, or them and Clemson were the second, third best teams in the ACC behind Duke. Pat Kelsey came over from Charleston. Unbelievable job. Louisville won like 7 games last year.
Yeah.
Came in, changed it, got a lot of transfers. I thought they got screwed to be an 8 seed. Creighton beat UConn in the Big East tournament last week, made the championship, was beating St. John's at halftime. Ryan Kalkbrenner, their center, a big problem, as well as Stevie Ashworth, their guard. Hard game to pick. Louisville's a 3.5-point favorite. One thing about this game, Moody, Louisville at home kind of. It's in Lexington, Kentucky. So Louisville's going to have a big home court advantage. I rolled with under 145.5. I thought this Louisville-Creighton point spread game was going to be the hardest one to pick, literally. It opened at Louisville by 1.5. Now it's 3.5. So I feel like if you bet it, you have to take Creighton because, you don't want to take Louisville at that bad of a line at 3.5 after you could have gotten it at 1.5,
Sure.
So I would lean Creighton if anything, but I don't have a strong read on that. And so I'm banging the under.
I did take Louisville just because they're a top 25 defensive team on KenPom. That's my big thing come March is I like to take teams that are very good defensively, because defense doesn't leave you, right? You can go on cold streaks offensively, but if you're a team that relies on your defense, you're always going to have that no matter what. When things get dire, the defense is going to be there. So I love strong defensive teams in March. So I actually took Louisville over Creighton in that.
Yeah, we're going to keep running through the games today. A couple other things to mention. Come hang out with me at DraftKings Sports and Social. I'm here the next few days. Looking forward to seeing a lot of old friends. Got people coming over from Monroe. A lot of the old Shreveport friends coming by tomorrow, 10:30. Tim Brando, long awaited. I'm pumped about this, Moody. Long awaited getting to do me and him together. I kind of feel like, obviously he's had a spectacular career going back to the 1980s, ESPN when it blew up, still doing the deal with Fox Sports Net, has so much treasure trove of stories, experience. Really excited about getting to do that with him.
Yeah, it's always great to see Tim. He's a hell of a guy. Very good friends with his daughter, Tara. I mean, he's always been really good to me. So Tim's a good dude, and excited to be up here. Of course, our boy Patrick Netherton as well worked for and with Tim Brando for a long time. So we've all got those deep Shreveport connections.
A quick reminder so don't get in trouble. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem, call 1-877-770-7867. And a reminder, you must be 21 or older to bet with DraftKings. All right, running through the rest of these. Alabama State playing Auburn today. Moody, Auburn 32.5. And usually, there was a historic thing where back in the day, the one seeds used to cover 72%, even at the high numbers. But the last few years, it's kind of fallen off. I can't lay 32.5. There's a limit.
I don't know. I think Auburn is one of, if not the most complete teams in the entire tournament. I think Auburn's going to make a serious run here. The problem is 32 points.
The thing is, are
you going to gas yourself out in round one by running your deuce deep into that game? That's my only concern there. This is one that I'm staying away from.
Yeah. All right. Our boy, friend of the program, Will Wade. Moody, all-time historic first. It came out Will Wade's going to NC State yesterday before McNeese plays in the tourney. And you know what? I've got an alternate take on that. Will's getting bashed for that publicly. I love what Will said. Obviously, he's my guy, and I'm biased because he's been in the trenches with me for years. But he's like, look, my players ride or die for me. I'm going to be honest with my players. And you know what? I respect that. Because all we ever do is see coaches lying to their players that they're not leaving. And when we all know they are. He told the McNeese AD when he got hired, I'm giving you 2 years. He didn't look at another job last year. He didn't even take any calls after his first year when they won the Southland, even though I'm sure he had a lot of interest. This is the end of 2 years. It came out yesterday. He's going to NC State. Shout out to Will for what he's done for McNeese and Lake Charles, Louisiana. Still pulling for them. I actually like that he's honest about it. I know that this is unconventional for it to come out before they play, but it's better than his players not knowing, and I actually respect him for it because we live in this day and age where nobody's transparent, and I would rather be err on that side.
Obviously, we had that great interview with Will Wade a couple of days ago, but you can say whatever you want about Will Wade. The man has handled everything post-LSU admirably. And he's winning basketball games and mints. I'm taking McNeese to pull the upset for our boy Will Wade. Yeah. Let's go. Go Pokes.
+7.5 today, 133.5 over-under. I'm on that over. I think, I'm going to do some, one of the things in March Madness I like to do, I like sprinkling some underdog money lines. You can risk really little money and just get some sweats. And so I'm on McNeese with you. Go Pokes, baby. Let's do the dang thing. That's a 5-12 game. 2:15. Come watch that game up here. That's going to be really hype for Will Wade. While we're at the Friends of the Program, we've got an interview that's going to be coming out in the next 30 minutes. We get to interview Ryan Odom, head coach of VCU. They are on +1.5 as an 11 seed taking on BYU at Denver. 147.5 high over-under in this game from VCU team that's got top 5 defense in the country. But contrasting styles. BYU can shoot the lights out. Ryan Odom, also involved in coaching rumors. Everybody, I think he's going to Virginia right after this is over. But I'm going VCU. That's my other upset pick. I think VCU champion of the A-10. They play good defense. You said it, Moody. Defense travels in March.
Yeah, I'm also taking VCU, not because I trust Mintzy, but because I trust Big Ev. I think Big Ev really knows his stuff this time of year, so I'm going to follow with Big Ev. And obviously Ryan Odom, the job that he's done there with VCU is incredible. Defense wins. Give me VCU.
Yeah, and like I said, that Ryan Odom interview will be out. Right, we're going to get that out right after this, but it was awesome getting to sit down with him. All right, we're running down the board today. Georgia has not won an NCAA tournament game since 2002. You think about the University of Georgia, Man, there's a lot of great things you think about. College football national championship, great program. You think about the Athens music culture with REM and Widespread Panic and all that. You don't think about Georgia basketball often. Michael White, good coach. Vegas doesn't think highly of them either. Gonzaga, 6.5 point favorite in an 8-9 game.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those spots where, like, man, just give me Georgia plus 6.5. They're getting disrespected here. SEC's deep. It's loaded. I don't know if they'll win, but 6.5 seems kind of high for an 8-9 game.
I'm on the other side of that. I'm on Gonzaga. They're a been there, done that type team. Georgia,
8 straight Sweet 16.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have them going through to the Sweet 16. I actually have them pulling a pretty big upset later on in one of my brackets. So we'll see. I don't need the Zags to get knocked out early. I have them over Georgia.
Oh, you got them over Houston second round.
I'm in one of my brackets, not my main bracket, but in one of my fun ones, yeah.
All right, Wofford, Tennessee. Now we're at the 5:50 games. One of the beauties of today, too, so we got the early slate. There's 4 different big slates of games. Dude, this thing runs late tonight. Man, we got 8:50, 9, 10 p.m. tip-offs. So this is the beginning of the night slate. Tennessee, 18.5 point favorite over Wofford. Wofford wasn't very good. They were like a 5 or 6 seed in their conference. I don't think they have a chance here.
No,
Tennessee plays such good defense.
Tennessee's too good. I think Tennessee has a great tournament.
Yeah, Tennessee. Rick Barnes has built an unbelievable program there. Just can't get to the Final Four for some reason. He's done everything but that. So can this be the year they're the 2 seed? They'd have to knock off Houston. All right, I think if you told me what you never know what the best game will be of the day, but let me tell you the game that's the most intriguing matchup. That's this next one. John Calipari in Arkansas against Bill Self in Kansas. Kansas and Arkansas. What a matchup first round. You look at Arkansas. Everybody was off a cliff on Calipari early in the year. They started the SEC 1-7. People are freaking out. Boogie Flan, their best player, has been out 3 months. He's back today. What's interesting is I think they played better without him. So how does he fit in after not playing for 3 months? Kansas, a full 5.5 point favorite. I'll be honest, Kansas, to me, when I'm watching them this year, they're a good team in name only. They've been inconsistent all year. Give me Arkansas plus 5.5. Give me Arkansas to pull the upset. They came back from 1-7 in the SEC to make the tourney. They're not that bad. They got a bad rap. I feel like people are still judging them from early this year. They played well down the stretch. This feels like a coin flip game to me. And I'm getting 5.5 and a 180 money line, banging the Hogs. I won't call for Hogs, though. I refuse to say Blue Big City.
That's something Mintz has been doing his entire life, banging the Hogs. He's going with them once again. He's on Arkansas here, plus 5.5.
Arkansas and the Hogs for the cause today.
Yeah, good timing.
Yale, Texas A&M, interesting one here. A&M a 7.5 point favorite. Yale beat Auburn last year in a 13-4 game. Yale could shoot the lights out. A&M scares me a little bit because they don't score very well.
Yeah.
They play elite defense. Wade Taylor's a really good guard, but he's kind of hot and cold. I think A&M pulls this out, but I'd have trouble laying 7.5 with A&M. I don't think they're a team that covers big numbers very well.
I think you're absolutely right. I have A&M winning, but not covering. A&M number 7 according to Ken Palm in adjusted defensive rating. So they fit my profile as far as a team that I think could be good in the tournament, but I worry about that offense. I do have them winning, but I don't have them covering.
All right, interesting one here. The 11-6 games are always upset magnets. The 11s have actually won more than 6 last few years. Drake, Missouri. Drake is every year in this tournament. You hear the Drake hype. They were 28-3 this year. McCollum came over. Their coach came over from Northwestern Missouri State. Brought a bunch of D2 transfers. Had a great year. I got to see these guys do it in the tourney before I put another dollar on them. They every year they get in the tourney and they let you down. Missouri's a 6.5 point favorite here. Drake's the big. You look at the public money. Everybody's all over Drake. I'm off it. I don't think Drake's athletic enough. And I'm fading them. I'm taking Missouri by 6.5 here.
I'm on Missouri. That's just the SEC bias for me. I think the SEC is
Missouri's
so good.
Missouri's
this
in
year.
the SEC.
And they've just been so good this year overall from top to bottom. I think that Missouri's going to carry that forward.
Yeah, I just think I'm fading. Like, the one thing about picking these upsets in March Madness, you kind of want to pick the ones everybody doesn't see coming, and everybody's on Drake. I smell her out there. All right, next up today, Utah State against UCLA. UCLA's 5.5 in a 7-10 game, over under 44.5. The Mountain West stuff's always interesting. They get a bunch of teams in the tourney every year. San Diego State made the championship a couple years ago, but then other than that, they usually do terrible in the tourney.
The Mountain West, I saw something from DraftKings they posted, is like 2-19 in their last 21 against the spread. So the Mountain West does not do good against the spread in the tournament.
Mick Cronin at UCLA really good coach. Weird cultural fit out there. Cincinnati guy kind of in LA. UCLA went one and done in the Big Ten tourney. I lean UCLA here, but man, I hate laying that 5.5. You know.
Yeah, I really have no opinion here. I have UCLA in my bracket, but that's one that I will not be betting on.
St. John. Now we're in the night slate. UCLA, Utah State, beginning of the late night slate. Look, we're going to be going late into the night here at DraftKings Sports and Socials. If you can't get out of here until after work, then that's fine. I think the best story in college basketball this year, Rick Pitino, St. John's. It's freaking awesome.
Yep.
Seeing the Madison Square Garden rock like that for the Big East Tournament Championship. St. John's 18.5 over Omaha tonight. These are the kind of games that are hard to pick because it's just a big number. St. John's also just had such a high on Saturday, winning the Big East Tourney. They're going to press you like all Pitino teams do. They play physical defense. I think they pulled this out. Omaha's not that bad. I know they're 15, but I heard they're pretty good. For our guy Rico Bosco, who has been taking a lot of heat for his Pitino St. John's takes recently, but feel his pain. I don't really have a strong opinion on this one.
I love St. John's. They're the number one defense according to Ken Pom. Again, that fits my profile of what I'm looking for this time of year. Give me St. John's and the cover.
All right, here's the most interesting line of the whole day. Michigan, Big Ten champs, by 2.5 over Cal San Diego.
Yeah, this one's weird.
It opened at 3.5 and went down to 2.5. Cal San Diego, another one of the America's darling upset picks. Michigan, I'm always leery of teams that win their conference tournaments. You see this story every year. It happened to Auburn last year. They won the SEC tourney, lost to Yale. Michigan fits that profile where they just won the Big Ten tourney, and then, now they're only a 2.5-point favorite over Cal San Diego. It looks awful, awful ratty. But I'm going to do the old Lee Corso not so fast, and I'm going to tell you why. Michigan's got 2 7-footers out there. Cal San Diego's got like a 6'7" center. I don't see how they can match up with that. I think Michigan's going to hammer them on the glass, and I think this is another one of those upset picks that's just too common and everybody's too on it. And I'm going to take Michigan by 2.5 to get this done, even though if something does happen here, I'll feel like it's something.
No, I'm right there with you. I've got Michigan as well. 5 seed. They're a top 12 team defensively. I love it. Give me Michigan.
And then finally, last game of the day, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, who underrated, man. They're actually the 3 seed in that bracket. They'd be favored over St. John's?
They're one of my favorite teams in the tournament, Texas Tech. I think they're going to have a really good run, maybe all the way to the Elite Eight.
14.5-point favorite over the UNC Wilmington, who did win a pretty good league. That College of Charleston league's usually pretty good. I still like Texas Tech here, though. I think Texas Tech is a solid team, underrated, and I'm rolling with them.
Texas Tech's too good. Again, they're probably the most underrated team in the tournament.
Yeah, I think that, the fact that Vegas has them favored over a hyped-up St. John's team tells you a lot. 16 games today, Moody. What could be better? Starting here in about 20 minutes. We got a crowd starting to fill in here at the DraftKings Sports and Social. Man, like I said, I mentioned it before, and I'm going to re-mention it again. Dude, this live casino, I can't wait. We're going to check out the Prime Rib new steakhouse tonight. They got a good Italian spot, good Asian spot. This DraftKings setup is incredible. Nice hotel. Really bringing something to the Shreveport, Bossier City community. And, man, I heard it's been popping here on the weekends.
Well, we basically brought Las Vegas to Shreveport, Louisiana. That's what it feels like in here. It's really got that atmosphere. Great place to get hot and win some money.
Let's get freaking hot, boys. This is the time of year to do it. It's time to get hot. Moody, while we're at it, I want to mention your Major League Baseball guy, Cubs Dodgers, played a couple games in Japan. Shohei Ohtani hit a ball from Japan to America the other night.
Nearly hit 3 of them, too. Yeah, but an incredible showing by the Dodgers. They showed up and did what we expected them to do. Yamamoto and Sasaki took care of business. Sasaki was a little wild yesterday, but ultimately the bullpen from the Dodgers did their part. Ohtani had a big moment in front of the Japanese fans. So it was pretty much exactly what you expected. The Cubs are not as – and I said this, on Wake Up Mintzy a couple weeks ago. The Cubs are not as good as people think that they are. People are ready to say, hey, the Cubs are going to win the Central. Not so fast. I think the Brewers are still going to be there. But on the other side of it, the Dodgers, they're just so damn good.
I see some chat stuff. People are asking why I'm not in Chicago. I'm out here taking the DraftKings to the people, boys.
Yep.
We're out here. I got invited, and this is so much fun. I've gotten to do this for March Madness a few times. I did Ameristar Blackhawk twice, and I did LeBears, Lake Charles. This is the best when you get sent on the road for work to promote the sports book and just gamble for 4 days. And I'm freaking ecstatic to be here. And look, it's fun to be back with Moody and my roots here, man. I have I will always have a very, very fond place in my heart for Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana. When I started my sports media career here, I remember Moody and me, starting from nothing. I made $15,000 my first year. We built this thing with our bare hands. And it's just so much fun to come back full circle and see old friends. It's just feeling very overwhelmingly grateful for the journey.
Yeah, excited to be here. Excited for this weekend. I'm happy for Shreveport and Bossier that we're, places like Live Casino are being built. We're continuing to pour into the city because we've lost a lot around here, to be honest with you. And so it's good to have some nice things once again.
Well, come see us. Whether you're in East Texas, shooting over from Monroe, North Louisiana, a lot of Shreveport people coming by. We're here. We're going to be here the next couple of days. We're going to be having a blast tomorrow. Super excited about Tim Brando and me up here. That's just, like I said, I mentioned it before, but I feel like that's just such a long overdue combo. And that's going to be fun. We're going to be broadcasting, doing videos. Just come see us, man. It's going to be a great few days. Now it's time to go play some bets. Once again, reminder, please gamble responsibly. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-7867. You must be 21 plus to gamble. Let's get on DK Sportsbook or come up here at Sports and Social. Let's play some bets. Let's get freaking hot. Let's go, boys.
Let's go.
That was fun.
Oh, yeah, man. We are. Yeah, for sure. There's a few. I mean,
a
lot of people weren't expecting us to pop up and do that.